Jack, big thanks for agreeing to come on the SRMC Tribe Podcast.
No problem.
If I can say it properly. This is season 2 for us. Obviously, first guest back in a chair. A little bit different, I suppose, to some of the ones we've done, where normally it's kind of somebody connected to the SRMC course, whether that's a student, a lecturer, a speaker. But we thought we'd kind of expand in our sort of universe and just, anybody we kind of know or like or kind of think has got a really cool sort of story. And obviously,
Especially being our hometown boy as well.
Just
from the little Chapel-en-le-Frith in the Peak District.
Yeah,
it's good to put that on the map.
Yeah, definitely. It's good to see what you guys are doing here as well. It's
just blagging.
I like my podcast. I'm surprised that I listened to the first one today. But yeah, it's brilliant little setup here. Loving it. It's I'll be tuning into more. Thanks for having me down.
Just to give the audience a bit of for the ones who obviously don't know who you are, just a bit of introduction. Obviously, professional boxer, fight at cruiserweight most of the time.
Cruiserweight, yeah.
25 fights.
Yeah.
Former cruiserweight champion.
Yeah, so former European Commonwealth. Got that last year over at Selhurst Park. Beat Isaac Chamberlain for them two. And then the fight after that, I went over to Riyadh in Saudi Arabia to challenge for the IBF world title in Ring Magazine. Unfortunately, I met the best in the world, and it looks like he's going to be the future elite guy in the division.
Well, he looks like the new sort of Usyk, how people are talking about him.
Yeah.
But mate, we normally sort of start these things with like, not from when you were born, I suppose, but sort of your upbringing and kind of before we go into sort of your fighting career, but kind of where it all kind of started. Obviously, we all live in the same place, but where it started for you, how you got into boxing, perhaps if you...
Yeah, definitely. So I was born and raised in Chapel-en-le-Frith, just down the road, and I went to school in Buxton, St Thomas More's and St Anne's. So a local boy, not a very bright kid in school. Was always the class clown, always messing about, trying to make people laugh. But yeah, I'd never really got on with education, and I think I realised that from a younger age, and I think that was maybe a good thing, because it always, when I started boxing at the age of 10, 11, I always wanted to make something of it from then, because I knew I was never gonna, get good grades in school and get a good job after school.
Were you quite sporty anyway, Jack?
I was always sporty, yeah. So first got into swimming when I was younger, and then from that, down at New Mills, I saw these guys skating about on rollerblades with sticks in their hands. I asked my dad, "What's going on in that sports hall? What's going on in there?" And they were playing roller hockey, and I was like, "Oh, I want to have a go at that." So I started playing roller hockey there, and then some of the other did that for a few years, and then some of the older lads were like going down to Manchester and Sheffield playing ice hockey. So I wanted to see what that was about and got into ice hockey. Love that great sport. Seeing a lot of, had some really good times playing ice hockey. Seeing different parts of the world, Germany and places like that.
Oh, awesome.
And Canada. Been all over these little different places and places
where
you
your fighting career started on the ice hockey.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
More so my brother, because my brother's a bit older than me, so he used to have a few scraps on the ice. We tried, but because we were young, we had the face cages, but we'd have the gloves on and we'd be trying to have a scrap on the ice. But
what's it called, the one you have in ice hockey?
The goon.
The goon, yeah. So me and my brother were like the goons. We used to send us on.
That was in your teens, mate, I take it.
Yeah, so I started playing ice hockey when I went to do it was an Easter course thing down in Sheffield on Queen's Road, and I was probably maybe 7 years old, something like that, and then played that until I was about 15 years old, but did boxing in between as well. Started boxing when I was about 10, 11.
What made you start boxing? Was that...
Well, my brother started going first. I think because me and my brother was always scrapping at home and, up to no good. I think my dad was like, my granddad boxed in the army, and then my dad boxed. So we always saw my dad had a few fights. We saw trophies at home with a guy with boxing gloves on, and he was interested in it. He had a pair of boxing gloves. So, Yeah, my brother got into it first, and then I was a bit younger than him. I was like, I want to go where he's. I want to do it. My brother, I don't think my brother wanted me to go. I think it was like his little thing, you know, leave jacket home. He wanted to have his little thing, and then my dad was like, "Come on, then I'll bring you down," and ended up sparring my brother, and he ended up putting it on me because I don't think he liked me going.
Where did that start for you? What
so that was
it a club or just
Buxton Amateur Boxing Club. Right. It's still there.
Still going.
Yeah, still going, just on Dale Road, and proper blood, sweat and spit sawdust gym. I loved it. It's one of them gyms that I can just always remember the first day walking in, and it's hard to describe to people if they haven't been in that environment. And you walk in as the older kids sparring, you got kids with nosebleeds and blood and sweat and just the smells, and you know, someone with gloves on knocking lumps of crap out of each other. You think you'd run out, you know, turn around and run off, but it's a weird feeling. It was a buzz.
Well, like hooked on the first sort of time.
Yeah. And I think that's like, you either like it or you don't like it. Especially when you get in there and spar and you get hit on the end of the nose. It's either like, this is for me or it's not for you.
You look like you've been hit a few times.
Only a few times.
How long before you started actually fighting with the training?
I'd say about a year.
Right, so pretty quick then,
yeah, so I progressed pretty quick. I think I had to because I sparred a lot because I was always quite big as a child. I got stuck in with, you know, grown men and, you know, bigger lads, and my brother just used to batter me, and I think that made me, you know, learn and progress a bit quicker. So yeah, it was quite quick. Is
that by age at that point, or are you by weight when you're fighting? You fight kids the same age, or?
I mean, sparring, there wasn't many kids, you know, sort of my weight at the age. They were all a lot smaller than me. But fighting, it was hard to get fights, you know, when I was younger, because there wasn't many kids my age at the same weight. They were all sort of like, you know, a lot smaller and a lot lighter. So it was tough to get fights. But yeah, that's where it all started.
And I presume you went into amateur career then?
Yeah. So we ended up just winning fights, getting good at it, and went into what they call the Golden Gloves. That was the first competition. Unfortunately, lost that to a very good kid in Coventry. Then we went into the Nationals, ABAs, Junior ABAs, and won that. And then it sort of started snowballing from there. Won that 3 times as a junior, and then stepped up to a senior and boxed in the Youth Commonwealths. Got bronze in that, and I was buzzing for the Commonwealths when I got a shout for it. Where we go, you know, could be going anywhere in these Commonwealth countries. Ended up in Isle of Man.
Oh, right, yeah.
So I was gutted, but yeah, we got a call for that. It was only just over a week. It was like, we need someone for, I can't remember what category. It might be an 80 kilo, something like that. And I was probably about 86 kilo plus, and I had to lose all that in, you know, just over a week. And I can remember the night flying out. I had an apple, and someone told me at the time to have a litre of beetroot juice. Flew out there, didn't have anything to eat the next day, and then ended up weighing in and fighting. So yeah, I beat the favourite, who was an Indian guy. Beat him, and then we had to fight the same day. Weighed in again, was struggling, you know, needed fluids obviously after the fight, but couldn't have too much or too much food. Had to stay at that certain weight, and yeah.
Well, still check that at that level, doesn't it?
Yeah. Fought this Australian kid, and just had nothing in me. So yeah, ended up getting bronze in that. Then I fought in the senior ABAs, won that, which is like the biggest one you can sort of win, unless you go up to Worlds and, you know, Olympics and stuff like that.
No, that's pretty prestigious, isn't it?
That's
considered like the thing, in it, you know, the most prestigious thing.
Yeah, so usually years ago, if you won the ABAs, you'd automatically be put into the Olympic team.
I was going to say, the Olympic cycle, does that?
Yeah, we did trials. We did trials. I did trials. They didn't ask me back, and then a few months later, we decided I wanted to turn pro. I was always interested. I don't know why I was never interested in the Olympics. I'm not sure. I just preferred the style of the professionals, and I just thought it was always a bit more, I don't know, a bit more nitty gritty, and I always thought the Olympics was very, very clean and shiny. I don't know, it's hard to describe, but
you have some fighters you just sort of focus on that, don't they, and like spend a long time, in that space before they go.
Yeah.
Fraser Clark, you mentioned.
That's it. Yeah. I was never really interested in it, and I think the more rounds suited me, because it always takes me a little bit to get going, rather than 3 rounds. The longer rounds would suit me.
Are you like pressured to go pro by like agents and things? Are people trying to get you to turn pro or not?
Didn't get pressured. I mean, I was always sparring at different gyms, and at that time when I was a senior, I was sparring with other professional guys, and their trainers would say, "Oh, you'd make a good pro. You suit the pro style," and it sort of put it in my head from there. So I ended up meeting with a guy called Steve Wood. He's a promoter and manager. Went to see him, and it's funny because when I signed with him, we got another letter through the door asking for trials on the GB squad again. But I'd already made my mind up, and wanted to do the professional route.
For interest, obviously people that don't know, how does it work? How do you just decide you want to go pro and then
pretty much
put in some forms?
Yeah, pretty much.
Have you got to have had a decent like amateur career first, or pretty much anyone could go pro?
Well, pretty much anyone can. Yeah, I mean, really.
You get a lot in the States, right?
Yeah, I think you should at least have 10 amateur fights before you can turn pro. But there's a lot of guys that are, going in from having unlicensed white collar fights, a few of them, and then turning pro, and
getting battered.
I mean, they look good, beating these guys up at the start, and then they always get found out in the end, and because you can't buy experience, you need that experience, and being in the ring, and
there's not many top boxers that didn't have a good amateur career, is there?
No, that's it. It's the longer you go on, and the deeper you get into your career, that's where the experience starts paying off, and you get into the 12 round
What age
fights.
were you when you went pro?
I was 19, so quite young.
Still young.
Yeah, quite young.
How many fights you had up to that point?
I had 54 amateur fights. Yeah, 54. Should have, for the amount of years I was doing it, I should have had a lot more. But obviously, when I was saying about being a big kid, not getting as many fights, whereas if I was probably a little bit lighter, and I probably would have been, a bit more regular, a lot more fights. So, yeah.
Was you still working at this time? As in, like.
Yeah. So.
As in, I have a job. I mean.
Yeah. I did bits and bobs growing up. As soon as I left school, I went straight into jobs, labouring jobs. I've laboured for plumbers, plasterers, scaffolding, done bits and bobs of that, cash in hand. And then I did a bit where my dad works. You guys will know Frodo, brake pad factory. That was probably one of the worst jobs.
That's what made you want to be boxing even more.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was literally just grabbing 4 brake pads, putting them in a box and sealing it, and then next 4 just, all day it was mind-numbing stuff. And I can always remember my dad saying, my dad's been there 41 years this year, or 42. And I can always remember him saying, you don't want to be stuck here for the rest of your life like me. You want to make some of this boxing, and that's always stuck in my head. But he's worked his way up to he's a manager, whatever now. But it's didn't want to be stuck there.
You still training hard, I take it at that point.
Yeah. And I started doing kitchen worktops like marble and granite. You guys know natural stone. Started working there, and that was tough. Really, really tough to do that job and then go training after, because it was lifting lumps of granite all day and breathing dust in. And my dad's driving me down to the gym in Manchester, and I'm falling asleep in the car and waking up like that, nearly hitting him when he's driving, twitching and stuff. So yeah, it was tough, but I was lucky enough to have a bit of community and support around me, whereas they were one of my first sponsors, Natural Stone.
Awesome.
So I worked there, and they were like, we'll drop your work down to 2 days a week. We'll support you in your professional career, and we'll sponsor you as well. And
I didn't know that, mate. That's great.
Yeah, more local sponsors came on, HGV Direct and Marple, the bus, Marple, Smiths and Marple. And
it's great when a town or like a village gets around.
That's it. That's the good thing about being where I'm from. It's it's a community, and people get behind you if you're doing well, and it's nice.
Yeah, you got a big a lot of travelling fans come to watch your fights, mate, don't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's nice, and as you get older and more mature, you look at that, and it's a lot of people are just, people are not a lot of them aren't actually into boxing. They just want to pay for a ticket to come and support you. And, support a local lad doing well, and it's
people
really
like
nice.
People like to see somebody on a journey, mate. And see who's gonna, if they get to their height and see if they're gonna make it. And
the cheesy sound it's inspirational for youngsters around here, because there isn't a lot like work-wise for people around here. Like you said, a lot of them end up in Frodo, or they end up the quarry, or a few places, and to see someone's gone and not dedicated themselves to a sport and found you're not found a pathway away from here because it's a nice place to live, but you're showing that there's more to
definitely
get out.
I always look out for youngsters what are up and coming doing stuff and
my boy started boxing, mate, so he's only 8, but he can bang like.
I'll have to get him on the pads.
Get him on the pads.
Yeah.
He's had him on it since about 3 years old, mate. Honestly, has.
I won't talk too much about him, but he's quite soft. He plays rugby as well, but I want to get him into boxing. Yeah, it's like you. My dad was boxed when he was young, good at like decent amateur, and into boxing like the cadets and all that stuff. But they always wanted me to do it, but then it was a choice between rugby and boxing, not that.
It's good to get your kids in, especially if your kids are like high energy. Like my mum and dad's, my brother was always, fighting at home or whatever. If your kids are high energy, it's good to get them into sport, and it's burn energy, and it's discipline as well. Learn a lot of discipline, and
mate, for all the characteristics that come with it, like the person you can become. Yeah, most of the time it does sort like if you've got a bit of a wrong, and most of the time boxing or martial arts or rugby or whatever.
There's purpose, isn't it? Giving a purpose.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah,
especially boys like men. They like, men like to fight, don't they?
That's
not that I want to fight today, mate. But
that's the thing. If you're doing it in the gym, and someone tries something with you on the street, you don't want to do like that.
Semi-similar. When I was 18, I took this job in a factory back home, a kind of big industrial town, big sort of steelworks, and my dad let me take the job. Didn't really resist me doing it. It was quite well paid, a sort of factory. And all I did for 12 hours was put a lump of clay in an oven, press the button, and 1 minute later it'd come out. I'd do 10 press-ups in between for 12 hours. And I remember one day, threw the shovel down, I went, I'm joining the Marines. And that's like, and looking back, I think
you need it, don't you? I think you need something like that.
Yeah, to go, I don't want to do this for, everyone back home
still
was
shit at press ups.
I only do 10 at a time.
I was doing similar with my brother on the scaffold. I do pull-ups in between chucking tubes, but I saw that as a bit of a workout as well, throwing tubes up.
Training, isn't it? Free training.
Yeah, or working for the plasterer who did rendering as well, carrying buckets up the ladder on your shoulder and working your legs out.
And the rest of the guys are like trying to do the minimum for the shift,
making everyone look bad.
It's jump back, mate, because we're going all over the place here. But to start your pro career, then, how did that sort of look like for you? So you got signed to an agent, or a promoter, right?
Yeah, so a bit of missed out. I went to see a trainer first, and he put me on to the promoter and manager. So I went down to a gym in Denton.
So you had to change clubs pretty much to go pro, do you?
Yeah. So I was Buxton, and then I moved to a gym called Northside down in Clayton in Manchester, in between at the back end of my amateur career. And that was one of my trainers actually told me to move because it's pretty bad with politics in boxing. There's politics in the professionals and the amateurs, and a lot of the times it's where you're from and you're getting the opportunities, and it shouldn't be like that. And this gym was, renowned to be one of the best gyms at the time in not just Manchester, in the country for being a top amateur gym. We had, people on the GB squad in there, and top professionals in there and stuff like that. So I went to Denton, to where Ricky Hatton used to train at Better Bodies, the weightlifting gym. People might know Kerry Kay's owned that gym. So I went there to meet Bobby Rimmer. He was the head coach there, and hit it off with him. Got training there, and he was like, "Let's go and see this promoter and manager, see what we can do." And then signed the contract. First fight was in Bolton. at the Bolton Whites Stadium, not in the stadium, but it was in a like a function room next door, and won the fight by knockout, and it was sort of like from there it was a big snowball.
How often you fighting in a year at that point?
I was fighting probably three times a year. It should have been more, as we were saying before. Unfortunately, a lot of professional fighters are, you need to be more, fighting a lot more frequent. Nowadays. It's a shame. I've just spent a year out of the ring, and that ring rust does get you, and inactivity is it's a big thing in boxing.
When do you feel you're actually starting to make a living from it? At what point?
I was quite lucky from going back to the sponsors. I had a few sponsors helping me out, and from the first fights, I was probably getting £1,200 a fight. I'm not bothered about talking money. I feel sorry.
It's interesting, people just think it's like there's massive money in it.
Yeah, well, I feel sorry for the guys now, the up and coming, professional boxers now, because when I started, there was no such thing as a ticket deal. So what a ticket deal is?
I'm just going to ask you to explain.
Yeah, what they do now is the boxer, say like he's an up and coming boxer, and he'll be fighting it, say a journeyman or a foreign guy, someone from overseas. The boxer who's on the promotional will have to sell the tickets. And then out of that ticket money, he'll have to pay his opponent half of that, and then he'll have to pay his trainer 10%, and his manager, whatever his manager's taking, could be up to 25%. So it's
whittling it down.
It's tough. It's very, very tough for them guys, them up and coming guys at the minute. But luckily enough, there was none of that when. And
you had them, all the sponsors.
Yeah, I think I got looked after because I did really well with ticket sales. The community got behind me, and I think for my first fight, I've sold about 150 tickets. So it was
a level
yeah.
Just to explain to I'm a bit of a boxing geek, mate. How the sort of financial model, people find this interesting, and you kind of semi-explained it then. How the financial model works in boxing is like the money's kind of at the top end, isn't it? Really, at the very bottom end, it's a pretty hard place. Like I said, you got unless you got like a Dave Allen or people like that who really like good big social media followings. Yeah. It's hard to sell tickets and to cover. Like you got some fighters you are paying just to fight, isn't it?
That's it. Yeah. Paying half of the ticket sales.
Yeah,
just to fight, and it's at the end of the day, it shouldn't be like that. It's
what point did I know?
Because there's some people making massive money out of the fights. That's the
It's all at the height.
I didn't really start earning a living. I was probably 6 years in.
Yeah,
7 years in, and even still, from saying when I fought for a British title in 2019, I'd say I had 2 fights that year. It probably still is. It still wasn't a great wage. It was.
You must have all that, and you got all that pressure of like thinking, "Am I going to pull this off? Not just financially, am I going to make it?" And
that's it. It's always it's always that case of you could get injured, or you could have a brain injury, or you could, something might happen where you can't box again. It's you've always got them pressures on your shoulder.
Just while on that, injuries. What's the worst injury you've had in the ring? You had some. I'll tell you, you've had a few nose breaks, mate. But
yeah, do you know what? These have all been sparring. Yeah. Most of my injuries are from sparring. So I'd say probably the worst one, the most painful, is ruptured bicep. I ruptured my bicep. It was a tear. It was this side, and that was sparring Hughie Fury. I went to throw a hook over the top, and he stuck his elbow. I don't know if he did it on purpose or he's just protecting himself. And my bicep just went right onto his elbow. Well, that was probably the most painful. I was literally physically being sick after it. It took a long time to heal, and my arm was like this for.
Did you have surgery on that one, or
no? Didn't have to have surgery, so it didn't go through the tendon. Whereas sometimes it can go through the tendon and your bicep can pull up, whereas you see a lot of weightlifters and stuff have. It was more of a tear down the bicep. But yeah, my arm was like this for probably a good
frustrating that
good
when
6
you can't.
weeks. Probably couldn't punch for way over 12 weeks. But
and then you start getting worried, am I going to come back?
Yeah, I always knew it would be okay. I was straight in there on the night, you know, with someone to have a look at it, you know, just to tell me what it was, and he was like, you know, it should be all right. Told me it was a tear, I had a good feel of it, it's, you know, saw a professional for it, but yeah, my good idea was went to Abersock to one of my friends' places, and went on a jet ski, and my arm was locked like this for months. And my bright idea was to get on a jet ski there, and I ended up falling off it and couldn't get back on it. I was like that, trying to get back on it.
Nearly drowning.
Yeah, it was that was a fun one, but yeah.
You mentioned kind of quickly there you went into you said the British title fight 2019.
Yeah,
I was at that fight.
You was there, yeah, your call. Richard Riatport, yeah.
Yeah, go on. Tell us about that fight. That was obviously your biggest fight at that point.
Yeah, it was, yeah, big fight, and
there's a big bus load, wasn't there, from here? Went down.
Yeah, there was, yeah. It was a great venue as well. Always wanted to fight there, York Hall, you know, prestigious. You know, fight's been happening there for, I'd say, probably 100 years, maybe.
Could do with a bit of modernisation, or can you?
Yeah.
It's probably old school, isn't it? Still,
yeah, it is.
Proper.
But I like it's weird when you're in the ring. It's like the balcony's sort of like it's
over the top of the ring almost.
Yeah, it's
isn't
as
it?
if it's on top of you. It's
like
quite
gladiatorial, wasn't it?
It can be daunting for some, but it's I quite liked that atmosphere. It was it was good. But yeah, we always knew you know, it's always going to be against us. I was a Frank Warren fighter at the time, fighting an Eddie Hearn fighter on a Eddie Hearn show at the time when Eddie Hearn and Frank Warren didn't get on.
Yeah, best mates now, aren't they?
Yeah, the best mates now, yeah. But yeah, we sort of knew we had to, you know, really put it on him or knock him out. And
you think you were going to win that fight?
Yeah, 100%. I thought I was going to win the fight. I had sparred with him in the past. I went down to spar Dylan White, and he was in the same camp at the time, and sparred with him. And I thought, you know, I can beat this guy. And yeah, I didn't get a decision. I think a lot of the pundits, Sky pundits or whatever, had me up at the end of the fight, and yeah, didn't get the decision, unfortunately. But
yeah, because there was one
big learning curve.
There was one decision that was like way apart when I had the one scorecard.
Yeah,
ridiculous.
Yeah, just ridiculous. Yeah,
it was on score.
Yeah, I think someone got a picture. Someone sent me a picture actually of that judge, and he's actually, I think everyone's standing up, or there's cameraman in front of him, and he's just sat down with his fingies, just like can't even see the ring.
Glasses on.
Yeah. So yeah, but yeah, big learning curve. You know, first solid 12-round fight. You know, fighting in York over, you know, a crowd like that, and it's all experience. You know, like I said before, you can't buy that experience, and going into them next fights, it give me that experience.
I must have felt like it wasn't a full loss, if you know what I mean. You must have gone away from going, lost, but I haven't lost.
Yeah, it was a weird feeling. It was, it wasn't like a loss. It was just, you know, take from it what we can. Yeah, it was funny after the fight. He was sort of getting bundled. My manager, like Richard's out there, he's getting bundled into the back of a taxi, and he looks absolutely fucked. And I'm walking about.
Yeah. How do you deal with those losses, mate? How do you deal with them mentally when you know it's a scorecard thing here, but you feel like you've won the fight? A lot of the crowd felt like you won the fight. How do you cope with stuff like that? Did you get over it pretty quick and just move on? Or?
Yeah, pretty quick. Just like I say, just take from it what you can. Experience, stuff like that. I think I'm quite resilient. Don't really dwell on things, and it's just, you know, it is what it is. Get on to the next, and yeah, I think I'm quite good like that. So yeah, I didn't let it bother me.
Was that the point though? You must have thought, because you've got obviously he's a bit of a name, when you at that point, the people pumping him. Yeah, you must have thought, I can make it. You sort of think that, as in like world level.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, after that, we ended up going with a different promotion. That went a bit sideways. But yeah, we ended up winning the IBF European. Couple of fights after the British, off the top of my head. And then we won the IBO world title. Yeah. Which is, a good title to have to set you. I know a lot of people don't see it as a genuine, WBC, IBF or WBA, but one of the lower ones. But it's, at the end of the day, it's still a world title, and it puts you in them, them good positions to fight for one of the bigger world titles. But yeah, winning that was pushed me on, and then we was looking for a fight after that, and unfortunately we had a bit of politics with the promoter. Won't go too much into it, but yeah, had to pay a lot of money in solicitors' fees and stuff like that just to get away. And
I didn't realise that.
Yeah, bit of stress, and yes, that was a very, very stressful year. And
most fighters have kind of had that at one point, haven't they?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it was a tough year. Yeah, but coming out of that, my manager always had my back, stuck by me, and sort of getting out of that, went back to labouring with my brother actually on the scaffolding site. We was working freezing cold in Potts Wrigley, chucking tubes up, freezing cold hands.
Still got a title at this point?
No, lost it because I didn't defend it.
Right.
Yeah. And then got a phone call. How would you like? I'm saying name a lot. Sorry. How would you like to fight Joseph Parker at Manchester Arena on the Eubank and Smith card? I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
100%. Not my weight, right? It's a bit of a weird one. I'm cruiserweight, he's heavyweight.
How much notice?
But 6 weeks notice. But it was just a straight yes. Yeah, I couldn't turn that down.
No. What did you come in the ring out on that fight?
Weight wise, 15.5.
What would he have been? He dropped down a bit, did he?
He weighed in at, I think he weighed in at 17. Top of my head, just over 17, maybe 74, something like that. So yeah, big guy.
Heaviest guy you've gone in the ring with, other than sparring, obviously.
Other than sparring, yeah. You can tell the difference, even just when you got to get a high guard and he's touching your gloves and your gloves are bashing off your head. I mean, most of the markings were probably from that. My gloves banging off my head and not as snappy punches, but a punch right hits you and it just knocks you
feeling it.
To the other side of the ring. It's different power, and just moving as well, moving around the ring and then moving you about, and just proper strength.
Obviously a lot of boxing people are going to watch this podcast out of our audience anyway, but for those people who don't know, like Joseph Parker, like he's got to be top 5 heavyweight in the world, isn't he?
Yeah, so he should be getting the shot at USEC really.
Yeah.
Right now, but it's not looking that way, which is a shame. He's fighting on the 25th.
Fabio
Wardley, which is it's a bit of a funny one, but I think he should have got a shot. It's
he'll just fight. He's a bit like you though, and he'll just fight.
He'll just crack on. Yeah, he won't dwell on things and just get on with it and fight. Yeah, that's the type of guy he is, and he's a lovely guy. Still keep in contact with him, and he's a nice guy, and just fights anyone who's in front of him.
I like them little funny videos he's done. The taking him against Dylan White, didn't he? And
he's done a few now, hasn't he?
Yeah, he deserves his shot, doesn't he?
He does, 100%. Yeah. I feel a bit sorry for him, but yeah.
And he was world champion.
Yeah,
heavyweight world champion.
Yeah, a lot of people, like I was saying before, a lot of people think he's older than he is. I think he's only a year above me, so 33, 34.
Yeah, I thought he was well older. Yeah.
I think he won the world title when he was. I'll have to have a look, but I'm sure he was only 20. So
that's not a bad thing to say. Like you lost to the former heavyweight champion of the world, mate.
No, that's it again. We got the call. Odds are stacked against us. Everyone on Twitter saying, "Oh, he's going to get blasted out in 3-4 rounds. He's going to get knocked out."
Do you like shut that out, or do you see all that stuff?
Yeah, it doesn't really bother me.
It
don't really bother me. It'll give me more of a spurt, but. Yeah, went the full 10 rounds. It was a good fight. He probably won nearly every single round, but showed heart and
that was a good fight, mate.
Yeah, showed toughness, and it was a great experience. Again, take from it what you can, and huge experience. And I remember walking out and being from younger days watching Ricky Hatton walk out in a stadium or Anthony Crolla at Manchester Arena, and I can always remember going and watching Crolla fight and looking around the MEN Arena and thinking, wow, I want this one day. Everyone cheering his name and supporting him. I can always remember walking out to the Parker fight and I just got in the ring and my manager said, take it all in. And I just, did a little turn around, look up at the gods and look at all the people and and then it was focus. So it was a great experience.
Do you feel like in the fight I could knock him out, or prior to the fight? And obviously he's
Parker.
Yeah.
I mean, the game plan really was just to be on my toes, box and move. On my feet, a lot lighter than him, a lot faster. Jab and move, make him miss, try and tire him out towards the end. That was the game plan. I was doing that from the start, but I can always remember pushing him back a little bit towards the back end of the fight and having a little bit more success. Maybe because he was, a bit more tired and tried to chase me down a little bit. But
he's a brilliant fighter, man. He's he's not many people put him on the floor. Like.
No. So great experience.
What's next, mate? After the Parker fight, I take it you probably got out of the overdraft after the Parker fight.
Yeah, a little bit.
Eating stuff in the back of the fridge.
Yeah. It's nice to finally. That was probably the first time I probably earned good money out of boxing, and it was nice, and that was
holiday.
Yeah. What did I do after?
You got married not long after that, did you?
No, I got married after the European and Commonwealth, the Chapel-en-le-Frith fight. Yeah, that drained some money.
It's all gone now.
I won't do it again.
That's why stuff like you.
So got married after the Chapel-en-le-Frith fight, won the European and Commonwealth. Got married after that, and we've got a little 2-year-old as well, and life's going good.
Yes, you've been with your partner since school, mate.
I've been with her since. No, I met her out in Manchester in 2000.
Old school, mate. Don't happen these days.
Proper old school. Yeah,
that's proper old school.
None of this, actually talked to her.
We talked to people.
None of this Tinder and all that. Yeah, I met her in. Don't know if you guys remember this, Fifth Ave. It was probably the younger kids were. I met her in Fifth Ave in Manchester on New Year's Eve in 2000. I think it was 2012 going into 13. And we were outside the club actually, and a friend come and asked one of my friends if he had a lighter. And I was just seeing this girl stood behind, and I was like, and I said to her, it's the most cheesiest thing you've ever heard. I said, have you had your New Year's Eve kiss yet?
Oh, no. Proper old school.
And then it was all up from there.
Quality, man.
Nice one.
Yeah, class. Yeah, be funny if she said yeah, and then just walked off, wouldn't it?
Yeah,
cheers. Too late.
But yeah.
Awesome, mate.
Yeah, we're happily married now, and just moved
What's
house.
she feel about your boxing? I know
She's
sure
always
she supports you, but
always supports me.
Does she get worried when you're in the ring?
She does, yeah. She gets very nervous. She sits next to my mum when she's watching the fights. They're both like
covering
that.
up.
But they have to be there to watch. Yeah, they both get very nervous.
But your daughter.
No, my daughter's. Yeah, she's only 2. She was only 2 in June, so.
Not had to watch it yet. She's not been in it.
Yeah, I don't think I'd like it to come anyway, but yeah, it's.
So after on the Parker fight, mate, what was obviously you're in all of the sort of boxing channels at the time when that probably put your name on the map sort of thing more than any other fight. Maybe you see it differently, but
so that fight was with the promotion Boxer, and then Boxer was sort of like, we want to do a bit of a deal with you, keep you on board. We'll get you a comeback fight in January.
After the Parker fight?
Yeah, after the Parker fight. Get you a comeback fight in Liverpool. That was on Tasha, who we're training with. Ended up getting this guy, knocking him out in, I think it was 1 minute 50 something seconds. Knocked him out, and he was like, "Oh, brilliant! Let's sign a deal." And what was after that fight? That was the Chamber one. After that, got the Isaac Chamberlain fight, Selhurst Park, European and Commonwealth. And that was one of those fights where I just knew. I sparred Chamberlain many years ago over in Marbella, but I just knew that I'd beat this guy. It was just one of those fights where you just know, even when he was up on the stage and we was doing the face off and doing the talks or whatever, I just knew I've got this guy's number. Just a look in his eyes, and I just knew I had this one, and I had to. It was like that stage where I had to. If I didn't win that, then it was like, what do you do from there? Do you go back down to British and challenge for a British?
Yeah.
Had had to win that. And then that put me onto the world title fight over in Riyadh to fight for the world title. But he was just a completely different animal when I go back to doing the face-off. When I looked at Chamberlain's eyes, he was sort of like, didn't know where to look looking down, and you could just see little glimpses in the eyes. It's hard to describe unless you're in that scenario, but you can just see just something. But with Jai Opateo, I looked in his eyes and it was like looking into a great white shark's eyes. It was
just to rewind for
nothing.
For the audience, kind of explain I suppose, how the Saudi things come about for people who don't really know. Kind of, well, I suppose is where every boxer wants to fight now.
Yeah, so Jai Opateo, he was the world champion, and he was one of them guys. He's a little bit like Parker fights everyone. I mean, he's a Polynesian as well. He just a warrior, just fights anyone, and he was struggling to get these fights and challenge for the other belts as well, because these other champions didn't want to fight him. So he was sort of just getting fights, whoever's there, and we got the call, and it was like, wow, just from that winning that European to Commonwealth and then getting that, it was just like life-changing, very life-changing, and got to go over there and just completely different experience. It got looked after so much. They flew us out. I've never flown business class before in my life, and I think that's kind of spoilt me because
we were looking to come out on our flight.
I think that's it spoilt me because we went on our honeymoon after that fight. I mean, we did one business class. It was like when you go to the airport and you ask them, it was like 500 quid for the both of us. But that was the first time. Yeah, that was nice.
I suppose
I wouldn't be able to afford it again, but they paid for it. So.
They kind of, for the people I suppose don't know, the Saudis have kind of got a bit of a takeover of boxing at the moment going on, really, and it's kind of, obviously there's probably a little bit of negativity at the beginning, but it all seems pretty positive.
All the big fights.
That's it. So you got Turki Al-Sheikh, who's just changing the boxing.
Who loves boxing as well, doesn't he?
Loves boxing, just changing it so much. So if you look at the Saudi cards now, every single fight on that card could be a headliner on a different, British card. So it's just all massive fights over there, and that's where the boxing is.
Looking to get out there again?
Hopefully.
Yeah.
Please.
Big payday, please. Put it out there.
Yeah. Do you know what it was a tough fight, and I think we showed heart and grit, and
he might go down, mate, as obviously you work out in the future, but the greatest in that weight.
Yeah.
People are talking about him.
Yeah, definitely. He
holds 2 belts in the moment, I think.
Yeah, he's got the IBF and the Ring magazine, so 2 of the most prestigious. He really wants to fight the guy. It's called Zurdo Ramirez, who's got the WBO and the WBA. He wants to fight him, but he keeps dodging him. He has had a shoulder operation, but he keeps.
Ramirez is dodging him.
Yeah. Everyone's just dodging him in the.
You've been dodging it as well, haven't you? There's a few people who don't.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, unfortunately, yeah, and I think that's the way boxing is nowadays. People want the easy route up. I think it's probably changed since the Mayweather days and stuff like that. Cherry picking. I'm not saying Mayweather cherry
managers and
pick,
promoters not pushing that more than the fighters.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, just cherry picking, finding people who might just be coming to the end of the career.
Yeah.
Or
it's also a product for them, isn't it? Where they they want to keep earning money off that person.
Yeah.
It's kind of like the Joshua thing now, of how do they maximise his earnings? Has he got a few more fights left? But the Dana White thing, and because they're on about wherever they're gonna, it's like talking about a new ring, new rules. But they're on about, it's not quite clear what they're doing, but like a boxing league.
Yeah, they're talking about bringing a new belt, aren't they? One champion and all that, but
the only thing with I kind of like the 4 belts because you're like,
you've got a monopoly in
because if you're only having 3 fights a year, you could be, say, like number 6 or number 8, and just because that guy, you could end up never fighting the top guy.
Yeah,
because
true,
if it's a league, But if you've got 4 belts,
yeah,
you kind of know the champion is.
Yeah,
most
I
of
think
the
it's
time.
good having the 4 belts, but when you start going into interim champions and stuff like that, I think that's when it gets a bit squirrely.
And the bronze
a bit
and the
messy,
silver and
yeah. But it does put you in the rankings, them sort of fights, but yeah, I'm not sure on the whole Dana White thing. But Turki Al-Sheikhi has completely changed boxing, and like I say, he's making these fights happen where people would be dodging each other, try to get to the top without, fighting the best, and he's making it happen, which is good.
I don't know if you've seen it the last few days. Sort of Dana White and Eddie Hearn have been going at each other a bit, haven't they?
Not seeing that now.
They where it's kind of always been quite sort of respectful of like each other before, but almost a bit like bring it on. Let's see who's going to win.
Yeah.
Which hasn't happened before.
Right.
It'll be like obviously the people who own the UFC own WWE, don't they? And they've just done a Paramount deal with boxing,
right?
For like $8 billion, with UFC anyway.
Wow.
And they got 12.
You're such a spotter.
I know. So they got 12.
Super fast.
See, this is the thing. I just like boxing. I'm terrible at watching it sometimes. I need to.
So Paramount, the TV channel.
Yeah.
They did a $8 billion deal with UFC for all the fights next 5 years, and the money hasn't come out with a financial, but Paramount have done a deal for American boxing for 12 fights a year, but nobody knows in partnership with the Saudis what that's going to look like.
Right.
So 12 shows are definitely on Paramount, but he's on about.
I'm sure your management are all over that. They know what's going on.
Yeah, but they haven't really nobody knows out because they're on about changing the ring, the rules.
Right.
But because the one thing they were trying to do for what Dana was talking about before, because he's ex-boxing, Dana White.
Dana White.
Of the money stacked at the top.
Yeah.
Like of making it a more even kind of spread.
Ah, right.
That's the thing he's wanted for years and years.
Yeah.
He always thought it's like a kind of a going out of business sort of sale,
I always see him get a lot of stick for not paying, his UFC fighters.
Well, you don't pay him much, do you?
No, I'm not sure what sort of money they're on, but I always see, people, especially with him coming into boxing, there's been a lot of people say, he doesn't.
Well, to push back on that, massively, what they're kind of doing. But you can actually, so you can go online and see how much each person has on each fight. But the problem is, them guys are comparing it to boxing. Oh, he's had 20 million, or he's had this much. Where, there's quite a lot of other, they get the UFC gyms, the kind of insurance and different things, and then they get a fight at night. But the money is, obviously, they got to pay their trainers and managers. But he's out of Dana's White, 600. I think it's 600 fighters in the UFC,
right.
on a kind of contract.
Right.
And obviously you got your superstars earning more.
Yeah.
But obviously the comparison is what the UFC fighters do, going, look at boxing.
Yeah.
The boxing. But they only look at the top.
Yeah.
They're not looking.
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
The bottom UFC fighters, I think, are still on.
Yeah.
And it's the brand in it.
You're not earning in boxing unless you're fighting for world titles.
Yeah.
It's unless you've got a massive, massive social media following and you get sponsorship and become an influencer and
I love
be a YouTuber.
Yeah. I love Dave Allen. I do. Kind of
Dave Allen, yeah.
I've
sparred with Dave a few times now. Yeah, nice
guy. Do you
guy.
pay for sparring as well? Do you go into camps and?
Yeah, it depends. It depends who you're sparring. I've been over to spar in Poland, Latvia, sparred a world champion in Latvia, Maris Bridis, got paid for that. Who else? Poland, been over there a couple of times, sparring champions over there. Talking about UFC, Rampage Jackson, been over there. That was probably one of the best experiences. But
sparring with him?
Yeah, it was just the experience alone, even though it come to quite a bad ending.
Was you sparring to help him or the vice versa?
Yeah, sparring to help him. I can't remember who he was fighting at the time, but I found it quite interesting because it was the first time I was like sort of around MMA, and I sort of had that insight of his training, different strategies and different, one day he was training stand-up, one day he was training, jiu-jitsu or wrestling, and then, different.
He used to train over here, didn't he?
It's quite interesting. Yeah. So
over here.
So that's how it come about. My old trainer, Bobby Rimmer, he used to be his stand-up boxing trainer, and his manager was who had the Wolf Slayer.
Right.
team. What's it called? McGann from Liverpool. He's got a son called Jack McGann who boxes as well. So that's how it came about. My trainer was like,
he's great in the A team, isn't he?
oh yeah. He took me in his van when I was over there. He had the A team.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was. That was some experience going over there, and what a life he lives.
Yeah, is there anyone that you got your eye on that you really want to fight?
Yeah, Chris Smith, always been on the radar. We've always wanted to fight with him.
He don't want it, does he?
No. It just, for me, it just makes sense. Style wise, make a great fight. We're both tough as fuck. Both like a fight, and he lost his world title to that Zurdo Ramirez, and I lost for a world title. So I think it makes sense for where we're both at.
Well, because you both fought the two main guys and lost.
That's it. Yeah. So I think to get back up onto that stage, I think it's to make.
You need some people to make that happen.
Yeah. So, and it'd make a great fight.
Perhaps this podcast will change it for
you. He was my last fight in the amateurs as well. That's ABA finals, senior ABA finals. Beat Chris Smith and then turned over. But obviously we're both completely different fighters now. But just think it makes a great fight.
Good backstory for that fight as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Anyone else, mate? Like even in slightly different weight, you fancy going?
I definitely like that Ramirez, the other world champion. Bill Smith lost to him. I'd definitely like a shot at him, 100%. I don't think he's anywhere near as good as Opasaya. So yeah, I'd love a shot at him, and there's a few out there.
You're in, I suppose, like the public's kind of attention's always been on like heavyweight, super middleweight. Nobody likes the real little guys at the bottom today, but they're the two sort of like sexy weights.
Yeah,
where you're like too small for heavyweight.
Yeah, that's it.
Too big for
It's
like any guys in the sort of peripheries of both them. You thought that'd make a like you said Dave Allen. Any people like you thought that would make a big fight. That your weight is slightly.
Yeah, try to think of heavyweight. What fight would make sense for me? It's
Fabio Wardley.
Fabio Ward would be a good one. He's a good fighter. A lot of the times when I think of fights, I think, I'm always like a bit of a fan pleasing perspective. Like I like to be in fights where fans are, after the fight, like, wow, that was a fucking good fight. Yeah, that was a good fight. That's what I love about boxing, and maybe like a Fabio, or there's some guys in there at the heavyweight that are, near the top, and I think give me a couple of years, put a few pounds on, I reckon I could take it. But yeah,
it's kind of.
What weight is Usyk fight at? Because I know he fights. He fought cruiserweight before.
Yeah, he was cruiserweight before, and then he stepped up to heavyweight. So he won everything at cruiserweight. Didn't he?
What weight do you think he's fighting at then? The actual weight?
I don't know what he weighed in.
He's usually a lot lighter, isn't he?
He has gone bigger as he's progressed in the heavyweights, and he's carrying it well as well. His movement's still there. His movement's still good. I think that was probably I don't know what he weighed in at that last fight, but that was probably his perfect.
I'm sure he was 16 something on one of them.
Yeah. Maybe just over 16. It won't be. I reckon 16. I don't know.
Because you got like sort of famous people over the years. Who've gone up. Usyk, Evander Holyfield,
David Haye,
Enzo Maccarinelli.
Yeah.
Who dominated cruiserweight.
Yeah.
But they kind of made their name, didn't they? And when they went up, even though for the boxing hardcore fans, like
it's when they move up to heavyweight. That's,
I suppose financially,
that's when they sort of made the name for themselves.
And now you got Ramirez and Jaya.
Yeah,
they're big names, isn't they?
Yeah, they keep pressuring Jaya to go up to heavyweight and look to fight Usyk, but I think he should get more experience first and do it over time, do it gradually. They've got a bridge weight now, whereas it's in between cruiserweight and heavyweight, where you can sort of step up to. I train with Lawrence Okoli. He's in the same gym as me, and that's what he did. He moved up to bridgerweight, won the WBC world title, give him great rankings, and now he's I don't know what he is in the WBC rankings in heavyweights, but he's very high. He might be number 2 or something like that. So he's done it that way, done the bridge weight and then step up. I think it's a good way to do it, just to get a gauge of where you're at. Because when you're fluctuating in weight, I mean, even when you're training as a cruiserweight, if I go back to the gym, say after Christmas, and I put a few pounds on or whatever, I know which weight I'm best at when I'm sparring. So I'll be a certain weight. I can't be too much over because I'll be sluggish, but I can't be too much under for risk of injury, because you need to carry a little bit of weight just to prevent injuries when you're sparring and you're taking shots on your ribs and stuff like that. And just little niggles and back injuries. So you need to figure out what sort of weight you need to, and then sort of slowly bring it down. So I think bridge weight's a good weight just to gauge how you are, get that experience at that weight, get a feel for it, and then sort of move up to.
Because age-wise, you'd be like coming prime, wouldn't you now? Do you think?
Yeah, 32. Yeah. So in my prime. So we need to step on it.
It'd be hard for you to put that weight on and not lose your speed, and
that's it. Yeah, it would.
Naturally,
unless you did it over a year or a couple of years.
Like a Van der Holyfield, he went massive, didn't he? From where
yeah.
And he was like a fairly big heavyweight.
Yeah. But, I think he don't want to offend anyone, but he might have had a bit of help with something.
There's definitely some of that.
But Usyk, he's
done it well.
Went in straight in, which is a big heavyweight, and but someone like him, elite level fighter like him, he can just a freak of nature.
I got to be the best of all time, isn't he?
Yeah, I had the shot to spar him actually, and gutted when he was a cruiserweight, and I think he just won the. What did he just win? Just escaped my mind. The cup, the thingy cup. What's it called now?
Come on, you'll know.
He beat Breedis. What's it called?
What in the UK?
It's escaped my mind. It's like it's a tournament, isn't it? What they all do.
Oh, you know, you mean it's 6.
Yeah, the Spiral Assault. Yeah, it's escaped my mind. I can't remember, but I think it was just after we won that we got a call to go and spar, and I was like buzzing. And I sparred before I went out there. Got a cut right across my nose from there to there. I was like, gutted. Yeah, I couldn't go out there. So that was to go and get that experience of sparring him. That would have been amazing. Yeah. But we've had some good sparring. Even sparred Michael Fassbender. He was probably the most famous one I've sparred.
Was that for a film?
No, it was years ago. I didn't actually know who he was at the time. It was when I was at Buxton ABC, and this guy turned up on a Triumph motorbike, coming, he's like, I want to do a bit of fitness training, and I've got a film coming up or whatever. And as I got talking to him, I sort of recognised him. I was only young at the time, probably 15. So I recognised him from different films, and he was filming for, I think it was Jane Eyre or something like that at the time, and he was doing it up at, the Chestnut Centre. Oh, yeah. At the hall. What's the hall? Is it Ford or whatever it's called? He was doing some filming for Jane Eyre up there, so he, just wanted somewhere to come and come and get fit. And he's like, I want to do a bit of fitness, sparring. And he's like, Jack, I'll jump in with you. Did a bit of sparring with him and ended up giving him a bit of a mouse. And he was like, they're gonna have to put some makeup on me tomorrow. So yeah, that was a good experience. I'd love to bump into him again and ask him if he.
It'd be nice to do like any film stuff or anything like.
Yeah, I did actually. About 8 or 9 years ago. No, probably less than that. I got asked to be in the Creed. I think it was Creed 2. So probably less than that. As the son, Ivan Drago's son.
Oh, really?
Because I think they reached out to a boxing trainer, these production people, and they reached out to this boxing guy from Ireland, and they said, do you know any boxers what sort of look a bit like Ivan Drago? And they said, yeah, I know one. Big tall guy, sort of light hair. So he contacted me, he said, speak to this woman, give him a number. And they had to do thingy on camera, and they sent me these. Honestly, they sent me these
Russian
lines,
accent.
and it's the most cheesiest thing you've ever heard in your life. I had the video of it on my emails, but I deleted it. I got rid of it because it was so bad. I wish I still had it, to be honest, because I look back, it was funny. It was I always remember the first lines was, I'm going to beat his ass so bad. That's all I can remember. It was terrible.
Oh man, that'd be good.
But yeah, that was an experience.
He's important too.
We even went to the extent of going to, my trainer at the time was friends with, he's called Jody Latham, he's an actor. He was on Shameless.
Right.
What's his name on Shameless? Can't remember what he's called. So he was an actor. He was like, my trainer was like, oh, we'll go and see him. He's got a camera guy, and we'll go get it on a proper camera, and he'll sort you through it and all this. And it was just like, it was terrible.
Where did you learn your Russian from?
He might come around again. You never know.
He was more Welsh.
Because it was the guy who played his son. He's a boxer as well, and he
yeah. Looked nothing like him though.
Massive.
But they used to call me that in the amateur days, Dolph. I used to have it on my shorts, Dolph 100.
Oh mate, that would have been a good story if you.
I know. But yeah, I would have loved to have got that, but Tony Bellew, he got it, didn't he? He got it in the first one. I sparred with Tony years ago.
Didn't he spark him out in the film or something? Or they were acting. He didn't.
Yeah, I think he caught him, didn't he? Yeah, I've seen it. Seen a clip of that.
Yeah, Sylvester Stallone arranged it, didn't he?
Yeah. So yeah, I've had plenty of sparring.
Probably the greatest boxer ever, though, and he's Rocky, Sylvester Stallone. He's probably done more for boxing than more people have started boxing.
Yeah, I think that's probably where it stemmed from when I said going back to when I first walked into Buxton. You know, it was like the Rocky gym, like, you know, blood, sweat and sawdust sort of gym, literally sawdust, because it had a workshop, wood shop next door. But
because that's how you used to think you had to train as well years ago, didn't you? Like chasing a chicken and carrying a brick. And
I actually had Jude doing that up on the farm recently.
You did, honestly.
I did. I was like, it's in a video. Get him training, mate. Yeah, he loves it.
Did you get it?
No, nowhere near, mate. Nowhere near. Let's start on that, mate. What's your weekly training look like now then when you're building up towards a fight, hopefully?
So Monday, Wednesday, Fridays are boxing days. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday we've been in the boxing gym. So today we did, say for instance, it depends if you're sparring or doing. So today we did 10 rounds shadow boxing to warm up, and then it was bag work today. So we'll do 8 rounds on the bag, and it was more of a go back to basics day today. So first round for 3 minutes, it'll just be the jab. So you'll get it perfect, get it right. Whether it's a fast jab, punch through a wall jab, little flick jab, double jab, triple jab, jab to the body.
Just that for a whole round?
And then the next round, you'll implement the right hand to that. So it'll be either a 1-2, double jab right hand, jab to the body, jab to the right hand, just add the right hand into it. Next round, you'd add the left hook into it and just go back to basics. You're always good to go back to basics and get things right, get things bob on, and I quite like them sessions. Yeah, so we did 8 rounds of that, and then we were skipped for 15 minutes. Sort of like 10 seconds fast, 10 seconds slow, 10 seconds double up. That's double up's where they jump. Do it twice. Yeah, that's hard to finish, and then do all your floor work after that, sit-ups, press-ups, and conditioning and stuff like that. So yeah, and then Tuesday, Thursdays are more of I wouldn't say an easy day, but more of a not as intense. So you do your S&C. Yeah. So you weight training, and then you'll do sprints. So like 400 or 800.
You focus on sort of power meters. And endurance stuff when you're doing S&C?
Yeah. So more, don't really need to lift too much, more like compound movements, squats, deadlifts, pull-ups, push and pull, so your pull-ups, sometimes weighted pull-ups, your landmine, so your movement, your core, stuff like that. So it's doesn't have to be too intense.
You still get out and hit the road like Rocky style and
runs. So I'll do sprints after that. I'll do my run tonight. So Monday, Wednesday, Saturday I'll do my long runs, and then I'll do more my sprints on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Whether it's 400 on the track doing 400, 800 meters, or get on the air bike, the assault bike there. Evil, horrible things. Horrible things.
Just for show, mate. No one goes on it.
Horrible.
Very clean.
Horrible.
Anything unconventional in your training, like different other people, like any cross training or?
No, not really. No, just pretty much just compound. Because in the gym, we're doing a lot of sort of functional stuff on the Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So we might be jumping the bar. Have you ever seen the jump the bar? Ricky Hatton used to do it.
Yeah.
It's a Manchester thing. So we're doing that. We'll be using the Versacliner in between rounds.
Not horrible.
So we'll be either doing pads or bags and then throwing exercise the next round. So the Versacliner, that's an evil one. Or the bar, or get on the stepper or the treadmill. Or
do you train outside of your training as well? Do you do anything extra, or just go?
It's all literally 6 days a week. Yeah, so
pretty careful with the nutrition as well. Do you keep that pretty?
Yeah, I've got a nutritionist too. Yeah, so don't struggle too much. Sometimes I have to eat a little bit more. Sometimes just to fuel my body, so I don't really struggle to get my weight down. Which is really lucky, to be honest.
Sorry, mate. You'd be training like this even if you didn't have a fight coming up, would you? At this amount? Or?
Yeah, you tick over. So you probably always keep yourself. My trainer always keep yourself 6 rounds fit.
Yeah.
So if you get that last minute call, always keep yourself 6 rounds fit.
We're going for 30 seconds, don't we? Just give us
right, for short bursts. It's coming back. Too many injuries, mate.
Yeah, I've always wanted to do. I always like the idea of a bit of jiu-jitsu and stuff like that, because you see a lot of the guys at the top, like your Lomachenko's and some of these guys, and Bud, who just won.
Usyk does a bit as well, doesn't he?
Yeah, Usyk does. Yeah, and it's that movement, whereas you can move.
Moves well, doesn't he, Usyk?
Yeah, moving the guy around the ring weight, when you're inside and just being strong inside. I quite like the idea of that. Well, it wouldn't really be a little bits of jiu-jitsu, but more stood up sort of stuff like that. Just good strong core.
Oh, you're worth doing a bit of judo or something without the throws.
Yeah.
Just the body manipulation
and just end up just get the guy.
I
meant to do that.
Do you obviously got a fight coming up? Do you know who you're fighting, or is it?
No. So this is going to be an 8-round comeback fight. Should have been start of the year.
I take it it's going to be like a proper boxer, not just some guy off the street.
It's
you don't normally have like 3 weeks out when you still don't know.
No, that's it. It's been a bit up and down. Obviously, with my promotion, they went from Sky to BBC, and everything's been up in the air a little bit. So that's why everything's been slowed down this year. But
let's hope it's not like surprise. Is Usyk's
brother? Yeah, we just want to get back in there and fight, and then we can look for some other title after that. And push on. So
early next year then for a big fight.
Yeah. So it's been a bit frustrating this year, but you just got to keep in the gym and crack on and keep mentally prepared and physically prepared and
you're fighting just as much politics, isn't you? And as you are in the ring, like sort of boxing. And people not wanting to fight you.
That's it. Yeah, it can be. A lot of things slow you down. It can be, if it's not injuries. I've had a lot of injuries over my career, unfortunately. Operations on my hand, tendons, bicep, nose, and most of these. I mean, that was in a fight. I've had little cuts in a fight, but the worst ones have been. I've had my nose cut on the bridge here.
Just slow healing.
Probably 7 times, and that's been sparring, preparing for a fight, and I've had to pull out the fight, and it's
frustrating.
It slows you down. It's
it's
the fight game, isn't it? It's occupational hazard. And
Ricky Hatton's career affected massively, didn't it?
Yeah, he struggled with his eyes, didn't he? Above his eyes. I mean, luckily enough, I touch wood. I've only had 1 cut above the eye, and I experienced that last fight over in Saudi, Jaya, and I've always, obviously here, blood going into the eyes. I've had cuts there. Cut on the bridge of my nose, but I've never had it above the eye where it's blood running into my eye. And I've always wondered what it's actually like. But when you've got blood running into your eye, it's weird. I always thought it'd be like red, but it's not. It's like a clear.
Just blurs it out.
It's like a clear film of your eye, and you can't see anything. It's just like you can see bits of light. And I can always, obviously, he's a southpaw, leads with his right hand. So his jab's there and his left hook's over the top, and I can always remember his corner shouting. I tried to hide it at first in the clinch, wiping it on his shoulder, get the blood out of my eyes, and I can always remember his corner got onto the front, throw the lead on, throw the right hook over the top. I thought, oh fuck, you can't see it. You literally can't see it coming. And that's when went back to the corner. Joe said, "Is your eye out?" I'm pulling you out. I said, "No, fuck off." Next round, he got even worse. Towel winning. So that's another learning curve.
Right call, right call.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
right call for your
right call.
safety, mate.
You come back again, or didn't you?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So
Smart call.
Yeah, right call. You know, didn't think it at the time, but after it, you watch it back.
Yeah.
Just getting caught, getting on top of you, and you know, you would have stepped it up again.
Like
me being a bit, you know, I can be a bit too tough for my own good sometimes, and
he's like a USEC fight though, and he looks like people can't work him out.
No, he's feels like he's always there on your chest. He's always on you. He's on his feet in and out, and you're on the ropes. You move off, and you go. Oh, you deflate, thinking he's not. You know, can have a little rep, and he's bang. He's just there straight away. He's on you. It's not nice.
Oh mate, we'll look forward to seeing that fight when you
when it's announced. So hopefully that's going to be announced in the next few days.
Keep going, mate. We'll keep looking forward to watching.
Like I've been saying that all year, but
just want to finish off with, mate. Any fight that you could have fought in history, you would have liked to have fought.
That's a tough one.
Don't have to be our weight.
Tyson. Even if you got knocked out by him, it'd be pretty cool.
I'd say probably Usyk. Yeah, either Usyk or Holyfield. Holyfield was probably one of my favourite fighters.
Yeah, I loved Holyfield.
Yeah,
I love Tyson though.
Yeah. It was just Tyson, probably the most ferocious, but I just thought
Holyfield was brave, wasn't he?
Holyfield was just
brave for him.
I think he was better than Tyson. You know, he obviously beat him. I think he would have beat him. You know, years before as well. There
was nothing like Tyson, though, was it?
No, just ferocious. You know, he's never seen anything like him before. You know, up to that point, he was just a ferocious puncher, and
loads of fighters lost it before.
Just so pleasing on the eye to watch, and a lot of people have him as one of the world's greatest. I don't think that's the case, but he was one of the world's most ferocious punchers, and great to watch. Yeah.
Awesome, mate. Thanks for the time, mate.
No, thank you very much for having me.
We'll watch anticipation, mate, the next
Hope
steps.
I've not said too many times.
No, it's been good.
I'll have to get someone to count them.
Yeah, awesome.
Cheers,
start a competition, I'll count all the
Cheers, mate. And hopefully by the time this comes out, mate, we'll know who your fighter is and you're on your way to winning it.
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate it, guys.
Cheers,
thank you.
Awesome, mate. Thank you.